All right, today we're diving into something really fascinating. It's this youth-led movement that's taking a pretty complicated UN goal and turning it into, well, a sacred duty. We're going to see how dry policy can become pure poetry and how finance can feel more like a sacred promise. Let's get into it.
So here's our roadmap. First up, we'll look at how this movement completely reframes finance as a sacred promise. Then, we're going to have to learn some of their unique language to really get it. After that, we'll follow the journey of the people who do this work, the stewards, and check out the incredible digital tools they use. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see how it all leads to real-world impact. It's a journey from blessings to impact.
And this, right here, this is the idea that changes everything. It's not just about a transaction, it's about transmission. I mean, just imagine for a second, if finance wasn't just a simple exchange of money, but the passing of a legacy, a kind of blessing from one generation to the next, that one little shift in perspective, it sets the stage for everything we're about to explore.
Okay, so building on that whole idea of transmission, let's see how it actually works. How on earth do you take a, let's be honest, kind of dry UN target and transform it into a sacred promise? Well, that's exactly what this first section is all about.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got your typical UN speak, enhance global macroeconomic stability. Now, it's important, for sure, but it doesn't exactly stir the soul, does it? But then look at the right, the Gohandi reframing. Shield the steward's treasury. Whoa, suddenly it's not just a policy, it's a personal mission. You see that? It goes from being a bureaucratic memo to a sacred call to action. And that, my friends, changes everything. To really get what this movement is about, you gotta learn to speak their language. And this isn't just a bunch of jargon. These words are the key to understanding how they manage to pack so much ceremonial meaning into every single financial action.
First up, the steward's ledger. Okay, so forget spreadsheets. Seriously. Think of this more like a sacred scroll, a living document that's not just tracking money, but blessings and commitments. It's treated as a record of honor, not just a list of accounts.
And then you've got the blessing trail. Now, this is where the magic really happens. A donation doesn't just vanish into some big system. Nope. You can actually follow its journey, see the lives it's touching, and witness the real-world impact of your blessing. It creates this incredibly powerful, personal connection between the person giving and the community.
And then there's this word, stewardship. This is not your typical audit. It's a ritualized cleansing of the financial system. Just picture a community's youth stewards coming together not just to find a mistake in the books, but to publicly review the records, acknowledge a break in trust, and then ritually purify the system to get that trust back. It's accountability as a sacred act.
So who are the people speaking this language and walking this path? Well, they're the stewards. And becoming one is a real journey, a structured path where you take on more and more responsibility. It all starts with the apprentice steward, a learner of legacy. I mean, how cool is that title? And it goes all the way up to the diaspora steward, a transmitter of blessing. Just notice how each title is so much more than a job description. It's a sacred calling, a ceremonial role with a really clear and profound purpose.
And these roles are actually sealed with personal vows. An apprentice doesn't just learn how to track money, they take a vow. I will trace every flow with honor. A senior steward doesn't just manage funds, they vow. I will guard the treasury with truth and transparency. These aren't just empty promises, they're sacred oaths that turn a job into a deeply personal mission.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this all sounds very ancient, very ceremonial. How do you possibly make this work in the 21st century? Well, the answer is technology. But this isn't just any old tech. It's a whole set of digital tools specifically designed to serve tradition and ceremony. It's all about bridging that gap between the sacred and the modern.
And this is their guiding principle. Just think about that for a second. In their world, every single digital action is sacred. A click isn't just a click, it's a vow. A digital file isn't a file, it's a covenant scroll. It's such a profound way of thinking about the technology we use every day. Every interaction has real weight and meaning.
So let's look at a concrete example, the apprentice dashboard. This is where those anti-corruption rituals we talked about really come to life. Youth stewards upload local government receipts and pledges from the diaspora, and the system automatically flags any issues for what they call a scroll review. But look closer at the details. The progress bar is called a triple ring of trust, symbolizing that sacred bond between the youth, the local government, and their diaspora partners. And when an audit is complete, it's literally sealed with a blessing and a digital stamp. Every single feature tells a story of trust and ceremony.
And check this out. Another really powerful tool is the Diaspora Compass. It's basically a digital guide that points members of the diaspora to exactly where their unique blessings, whether that's money, skills, or even just wisdom, are needed the most. You can think of it like a compass for the heart, guiding generosity to its true north.
All right, so we've got the vows, the rituals, the sacred ledgers, but what's the point? Where does the rubber meet the road? What does this all actually add up to? That's what our final section is all about, connecting this global giving to a real, lasting local legacy. This is the very first thing that diaspora members see, and it's incredibly empowering, isn't it? It's telling them they're not just some distant donor. They are the bridge, they are the connection, they are the blessing itself. It's such a powerful shift in perspective that turns the act of giving into a sacred act of homecoming.
And their landing page is designed like a journey. There's an interactive map to guide you, a wall of honor to celebrate you, and the intake form, it actually recognizes that a blessing can be way more than money. It could be wisdom, skills, or heritage. And the final step, it's not donate now. No, it's an invitation, sign the scroll of integrity, become a legacy witness. It's an invitation to join a sacred covenant. And this really brings it all home. This is the ultimate expression of the movement's identity. They're not just using the tools, they are the tools. They are the scroll, they are the seal, they are the legacy. They have become the living, breathing embodiment of this sacred financial system. And that is a truly revolutionary idea.
And so that leaves us with a pretty powerful question, doesn't it? This model might be unique to them, but its core idea is universal. What if you treated every financial act, big or small, not as some cold transaction, but as a sacred vow? How would that change your world? It's a question really worth thinking about.